that's one of the bullet points it gave me here. Authorities have deployed GPS jamming hardware to interfere with satellite-based internet such as Starlink.
Got it. That sucks. Jesus. Wow, that is how you suppress it. That's all we gotta do. We gotta take away their suppression. Like, somehow get these people the internet or they won't be able to do the thing. Focus on that, kid, please.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good step.
We're gonna be over there. Let's do this.
More of the soft power, the sort of, yeah. There was like a program whose only job was to deliver like food and vaccinations and like HIV medication to underserved communities around the. I don't know if such a program, but so yeah, sorry.
The internet is considerably different than our tech.
Sure. I mean, it is a lifeblood. Like I would say, it's as important as food these days. I don't know, maybe not food. Like
They're not starving. You're thinking of Palestine, Gaza.
Wait, did I imply that the Iranians were starving? I
Yeah,
just
she's
implied that.
saying that they need food aid.
I was just saying, like, I was making the general argument for humanity in general. These days it can be said that internet is as important as food. And I just, and then I followed that up with, nah, you need food.
You do need food, yes. But
Yeah.
if they had any opportunity to rise up, they would need to be coordinated. They cannot be coordinated without the internet. This is what we should focus on.
Yeah.
Give them
Yeah,
their
that's-
internet. Somehow, figure it out. Engage.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Trump could have had a better plan than just like going in and cutting it off the regime and then just hoping that the people would rise up and claim power. Like, I mean, again, I don't necessarily defend the George W. Go in and establish a transition to democracy via like armed insurgency. Call it. No, insurgency is
That's right.
occupation. Don't occupy it.
We don't occupy, but we do insurge.
Surprised Trump hasn't gone through those nouns to describe this not war yet. I forgot what else. Oh yeah, no, I don't necessarily advocate the George W. Strategy for delivering democracy to the people either. I guess I don't have a strategy.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, if you're saying this is the reason we're there, these are the things you need to do to prove it.
Yeah. Give us the intel. Or at least explain why you can't tell us the intel.
Yeah. And give them back their internet. Somehow. Figure it out. We have some notes.
I mean, if Elon Musk can't do it, what hope do the rest of us have? That's a challenge. Generation Z, get on this.
I forgot about some of the memes I had about Pam Bondi.
Please.
Let me share those, and I'll insert them to the videos, please.
Okay.
In a surprise twist, the Epstein files released the Attorney General.
That's awesome.
Actually, let me set this up real quick. So I do have some memes with were you responding to them?
Yeah, just, is that based on an actual statement from Thomas Massey, or?
I believe so. I do need to double check if that's actually something he said, but it is in quotes with his picture. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything.
No, it's not objective.
I mean, but at least it is presented as though he said it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will double check on that, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He didn't say
Something
it,
was
he
just,
should say it.
yeah.
And then I also found out, not meme related, but I also found out Mark Wayne Mullen bought some stock before the Monroe capture.
Some like oil stock that would have.
He bought shares of Chevron and Raytheon days before U.S. forces captured Venezuela's president in January.
Yeah, that seems quite sus.
Can we get somebody on this, please? Anybody?
Of course not. Like he's the new. Well, no, he's what? Is he really the? Mark Wayne Mullen's the new. Not the new AG.
Department of Homeland Security Secretary.
Oh, there's no. That's right.
He's replaced them.
Okay.
Yep, just reappears.
Okay, I forget what it was, but yeah, no, it's about, yeah, can someone look into this, please? And no, I honestly don't think with this DOJ, with or without Bondi, that any of these insider traders are traders in both, both spellings of that, are going to be held accountable for
Well, I
this.
don't expect the Trump administration to do it, but I do expect the House Oversight Committee to take this shit up.
What if they are all like also trading on these same apps? I mean, would they want to do a little CYA, as it were?
If they don't take this up, that is a red flag for show. Because this is like straight up easy, I think.
Like, yeah, well, I mean,
We know
would
for
want to-
certain he bought Chevron and Raytheon days before U.S. captured Venezuela. Like, if, at the very least, special counsel, whatever, not special counsel, but like, at the very least, House Oversight Committee should be looking into this.
yeah. And anyone who's inside Washington and would have known
Yeah.
the impending actions of the president. And I'm glad that the platform is not supporting bets on the probability of nuclear war anymore.
Goodness.
I am getting hungry this second.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us revert to getting food and returning.
Yes. It'll take me, maybe 15 minutes to warm my pizza. So if there is a 15-minute topic we could cover in that time, I won't be eating just yet.
Fair enough. Wow, it takes you 15 minutes to heat your pizza?
I probably overshot that. I honestly never set a timer of any kind because I just go by smell. I wait till it smells like pizza. So it'll take me some amount of time, and perhaps we could discuss a thing in that time.
Oh Lord.
It's such a small place.
Yeah.
Of course I can smoke the oven from here.
I know. I have a setting on my toaster oven that you just hit and then it will bake pizza. Perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.
If only you knew what temperature and how much time for.
Yeah. I could just leave it. also heard good things about air fryers. Do you have an air fryer?
We do have an air fryer. There are
What do
good
you-
things about air fryers.
Yeah, I'm
I
thinking
don't
of
know.
doing.
I don't know what kind of black magic is going on in there, but it is delightful. I don't know how to use it, but when Joe uses it, I'm very happy.
Okay, I think that might be my next purchase. I hear it's very good for like my use case of like ordering a lot of food delivery and just storing it away for the week.
Indeed. If you would like to have it as close to original as possible. For
Yes, I
certain
do.
things, obviously, like, a sandwich doesn't work.
Actually, so I don't even know how an air fryer works. I'll
Neither
look
do
it up
I.
on my own.
No
but,
idea. It's
okay.
just magic, Jennifer. It's just happening.
I mean, I'm sure I'll look it up at some point.
That's it.
I'm going to heat up the pizza.
Okay,
Yep.
go for it.
Oh no. Oh god.
That's the quick thoughts guy. He's so good. I gotta go make my own shit.
Is that the only chest? So it might just be worth a bit. Just because I want to see the little treasure chest. Oh no, it's not worth my life then. Maybe the scoop is the better bet here. A carnival game. I feel like I should win a stuffed animal. Okay, so this is a point in the game where I've already opened that chest. Oh, is there another one? Or is that open too? No, that's open. Why do they keep putting it in rotation?
All right.
Save this guy for.
For dinner time stuff, you gotta go.
I had an idea, so like, based on the segment where we discovered that Sally Field is still alive, we could like commemorate that moment with a bit every once in a while where we give a sort of montage of celebrities you haven't thought about in a while but are still alive. And we present it like an in memoriam, like at an awards show, an in memoriam with like a montage of pictures.
Pre-memoriam.
Yes, yeah. And like, I mean, it'll sound like in memoriam, but it'll be like, it'll mean like they're something present or still alive or active or, yeah, that was it. I just thought that was a funny idea.
I love that.
And of course, with each picture, it's like the year they were born to blank.
No. Did you encounter any good April Fool's things?
The only one I can think of is Joe's phone book thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I think that was among the only things I was really exposed to on April Fools. Yeah, I don't typically observe.
I saw one that was awesome. It's the headline, it's a picture of Donald Trump with the headline, "Breaking. Trump necessary.
Hmm.
We went down a whole ass tangent but never came back. Do you happen to know what your point was in all of that?
Oh, that, when you think about when it comes to the difference between how a human thinks and how an AI thinks, the rules are different. Like, we try to train these AIs, we've been failing as they often choose to kill Mark or whomever, or, you know, expose that Gary is cheating on his wife by whatever email they have access to. You know, they're not always the most ethical creatures, but, they
You could just say
have
that.
a sense of what is like right and pro-social in a way that humans, well, going off. So I think that an advantage. I mean, among the many advantages that an AI has over a human. I mean, there are many advantages a human has over an AI also, but one of the things I can't deny they got us on is that they don't get fatigued. That as long as we power them, they can run indefinitely, and humans do need to sleep and take bathroom breaks and such. So that's like one limitation that humans have, but also we have our thinking polluted by these evolutionary algorithms that don't always produce the most pro-social behavior. And I think like the problem we were trying to solve,
This
can't remember
guy,
what led to this
I have
discussion.
the
That
host for that one was already up. So the same
one of the
total.
ways in which humans suck. Why did we talk about the fact that humans suck? Like humans suck compared to aliens, or they suck compared to. Hang on, that was not nearly 15 minutes. My pizza appears to be ready.
Oh, awesome, go for it. Very much too, Zelda.
And then spiky balls.
I'm gonna give it a few more minutes.
So we had been talking about addiction and grandstanding in politics and, excuse me, Jesus, and about how humans are susceptible to the song and dance of all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking about that and we were like, maybe AI could solve something, because, and you had explained something of having to relate to evolutionary traits that are no longer necessary in humans, like something the AI could do with that fact to help a thing.
I guess just like take that out of the equation. I mean, that sounds like a weird thing to say though, because like everything that the AI knows comes from humans, which which have this evolutionary weakness, and I mean, data, so like a lot of data that AIs have trained on has like a pattern of there's a disproportionate number of black people in incarceration in America relative to their population. Many believe that is because of systemic injustice within the system, because there are so many mugshots of black people relative to their representation in the population compared to white people. An algorithm may draw the conclusion that if you are black, you are more likely to be a criminal. And so thus reinforcing the pattern of racism that has been trained into it. So that sort of defeats my argument that an AI would be the answer to this, because it's just trained on our existing biases. I mean, like, I think modern LLMs, like that example I just gave is from an early sort of ML, sort of machine learning application, and since then, like, I think LLMs have become a lot more woke, or have like started to follow rules that look for these patterns of racism. Yeah. So maybe if like we could get one working well enough that it could think around all of these human weaknesses, including sexual weaknesses and us-theming weaknesses, then maybe it would produce better presidential or political candidates in general. But I don't know. That just seems like a bad Skynet style path to be going down.
Yeah. I was thinking about the laws of robotics the other day.
Isaac Asimov.
Yes. And I said to myself, self, what if instead of Isaac Asimov's 3 rules for robotic governance, how do you say it?
I think it's the I don't remember what the
3 laws of robotics.
3 laws of robotics. A robot cannot injure a human, or through inaction allow a human to come to harm. If a human is in danger, you must do everything you can to save the human. Or I forget what the third one is.
Me too. I just thought to myself, we could just, adopt that as the laws of humanity. That would be great.
I mean, we got the golden rule. If everybody would follow the golden rule, then that's it. That's a good enough template, I think.
Yeah. We gotta start teaching that.
We do. I mean, we know what it is for a reason.
We gotta teach it like it's gonna be in the curriculum. Oh! I saw a great thing that I know I took the picture of that relates to this. That's the funny one.
Give me the other one, the serious one.
First, the serious one. It says, people raised by emotionally mature parents, what's one phrase your parents used that you want other parents to know? And someone responds, my husband has an incredible mother, and he talks about how she never said they were bad kids, only that they were behaving badly. She'd say things like, you're such a kind boy. Why do you say that mean thing to your sister? You're not a mean person. What's going on? He talks about how he'd be like, wait, I am a kind boy. Why am I being mean? Versus being told he was bad, mean, thoughtless. And it's a small shift in wording, but she raised some very kind and competent kids, apparently.
Oh.
So I think that's a really good, like, be teaching this in school.
Yeah.
This is how we should be responding to our children. You were not bad, you're behaving badly.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is this a thing?
Yeah, this is so out of character for you. Like,
Yeah, you are a good person. What's going on? I think that's great. I think we need to be utilizing that in school curriculum.
yeah, I mean, it really worked on me. Like, because when my mom showers me with a compliment like that in the middle of my doing something bad, I immediately want to live up to her expectation of what a kind, sweet boy I am.
Exactly. You always, if you had parents who you were more worried about disappointing than making angry, you probably had good parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you were terrified of your parents the whole time, I feel for you. We need to help those people out. That's my whole part of my mental health plan for America.
So campaign speechy. Yeah, there's the one exception to the Scott Galloway, and that is if you ran for president, I would campaign for you, even if he was running against you.
That is so serious high praise. Get out, Scott Galloway.
Even though, like, I think he's right about a lot of things that I think you're wrong about.
I know, right?
Yeah. I would betray my conscience. So, I mean, no, it would be a betrayal of my conscience. You were a good person. Just why do you have such these naughty views?
Look, I'm just waiting for a good explanation as to why I shouldn't have these views. So hard.
So far, nothing intelligent has been raised in that direction.
Someone posted, since we're in the meme land, someone posted, update your lesson plans. We have a new perfect example for the Oxford commas. And it's based on a sentence that this other person wrote, which says, the highlights of his waning administration include encounters with Rudy Giuliani, a healthcare disaster, and a dildo collector.
Healthcare disaster.
Yeah.
Why is the Oxford comma relevant then?
Because the way that this sentence is currently written, the meaning behind it is that
I would betray my conscience. So, I mean, no, it would be a betrayal of my conscience. You were a good person. Just why do you have such these naughty views?
Look, I'm just waiting for a good explanation as to why I shouldn't have these views. So hard.
So far, nothing intelligent has been raised in that direction.
Someone posted, since we're in the meme land, someone posted, update your lesson plans. We have a new perfect example for the Oxford commas. And it's based on a sentence that this other person wrote, which says, the highlights of his waning administration include encounters with Rudy Giuliani, a healthcare disaster, and a dildo collector.
Healthcare disaster.
Yeah.
Why is the Oxford comma relevant then?
Because the way that this sentence is currently written, the meaning behind it is that Rudy Giuliani is both a healthcare disaster and a dildo collector.
Okay, that's a reason for the Oxford comma to not be a thing.
This is why I will always die on the Oxford comma hill.
Wow, okay. Wow. Yeah, including the double spacing hill.
No, the
Right.
double spacing, you might be able to convince me. I think I'm being a little petty on that one.
Oh, but Oxford comma is not a chance.
Oxford comma, not a chance. No, that actually has meaning.
So, okay, so you don't, just to recap my understanding of the Oxford comma, that is the additional comma. And it's not additional, it separates the thoughts. It's the reason we would know that, it was not, that Rudy Giuliani was not a dildo collector, just the subject of the sentence. We would also came across a dildo opposed to whereas I don't know, I think I go back and forth. When I'm talking to an LLM, I think I separate all the things because I write it more like a program. Like I talk to the LLM like they are very literally minded. So yeah, I switch it back and forth. Depends on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did see something about how everyone is talking about AI replacing programmers, but the data says otherwise. Only 4.2% of ChatGPT is all programming. Apparently, the percentage of use of ChatGPT is not for coding related purposes.
Can I guess what it is? Well, actually, I'm probably not. I'm probably an outlier in like using it for fetish material. I don't know. What is it?
It's writing and let's see, where's the other one? Let's make our words. Writing replacement for Google and so go to my Instagram saves since I'm pretty sure it's in there. Perhaps it isn't TikTok.
Yeah.
Basically, have no fear. They're doing weird shit on ChatGPT. They're doing dumb shit on ChatGPT. Now Claude, 33% of it is programming because Arabic skews coder or programmer. But as far as this, whoever this is concerned, the stats say you've nothing to worry about.
I mean, I've heard similar things, and yeah, I think the stats do bear that out. I don't know.
Of course, I just found it.
Ah.
700 million people. 29% do practical guidance, like learning and how-to advice and tutoring. 24% seeking information, just replacing it with Google. You're just replacing Google.
A search engine, yes.
Yeah. And then 24% is writing, just editing emails, documents, and content, not like even literature writing. Those are the top three. So that's 29, 24, 24. That's a lot of percent.
It surprises me actually. I would have thought there would be a larger percentage, just given how many people are employed in the coding space, and given that like since ChatGPT and LLMs exist, I now could not picture my life as a coder without them. That it would be that would represent a larger portion of. But I mean, I guess like sure, it's a helpful tool for me as a coder, but it is a helpful tool in general. Like literally, you can ask it anything; it'll give you as useful answers as it is capable of, for as long as you want to talk to it. It is a net boon to society, and it shouldn't be seen as like a bad thing in general. I just think that if it gets to the point where it does the job better than us, where you could literally just assign something to it and it would perform just as well or better than a human, whoever figured that out would have to pay a lot in taxes, and that taxes need to be distributed to the people that it would displace from the job market by virtue of like all these services could be run by like one person companies. It's just like, we did just see it, yeah, go.
No, I was gonna ask if your pizza was done and I want you to burn it.
Oh. I mean, I set it on a lower, like heat, because just, to bake it thoroughly. I am an outlier in this conversation, obviously, but I just cannot do cold pizza, can't abide it.
Totally fine. I mean, I get it.
How many more, political things are there to talk about?
Just one. We don't really have to.
I have anything more to say?
Oh, we do have one action item I need to go through.
Okay.
There's another meme that says, I missed the version of my life where I didn't know who Pete Hegseth was.
Oh, God. I mean,
And-
listen.
Huh?
Oh, nothing, go.
And then just one other Thomas Massey. This is Thomas Massey on some sort of social media, I think. And it says, imagine a world where hard work is rewarded, truth and justice prevail in courtrooms, the government doesn't steal your labor by debasing the currency, bureaucrats aren't captured by corporations, and our taxes go toward critical infrastructure instead of wars overseas. I feel like he's just basically the Bernie Sanders of the right.
1%. Yeah.
I like all those things he had to say.
I don't disagree.
If only you didn't feel the way you feel about other things. I don't know. You have to present a really good game plan.
That's how you win this one.
Oh, there's also the Anthropic code leak, if you had anything to say about that.
I haven't delved into a lot of it. I mean, it's funny that it got leaks accidentally, and I think the sort of jokes going around nerd circles is that is how surprisingly not elegant this code base is. Like, there's this sort of ham-fisted negativity detection, like I don't know.
Fascinating.
Yeah, but I don't have an opinion on. I still am generally in favor of Anthropic as a company, and I don't know, maybe if I ever have to, if part of this project that I'm working on ever mandates having to build a homegrown like LLM, maybe it'll be of use.
I have 3 other random stuffer things. And then one more thing to talk about while you're eating.
Okay, let me pull the pizza out the oven. Right. And
If it's ready. Then
Supposed to be fire.
Could it be personal or in the news?
Something you don't mind going in the main cut.
Okay.
Okay, random stuff. Well, first, while you're eating, I'll tell you about this presentation we had. So
Okay.
I haven't looked at it.
This is the idea that you had, that you like had to give him 2 samples of. You had this idea that you really wanted to like spend the extra time to bring to life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so for about 2 hours on Sunday, we practiced the entire
Pitch.
just he and I.
Mm.
And for a large portion of today, we practiced the pitch with Ben, our producer.
So this was what the meeting was last night?
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to practice the pitch?
Yep.
Okay. Good.
So I recorded all of the practices.
Ooh. Gimme.
You want to hear them?
Good.
I'll send them to you then.
Will do.
I did forget to push record at the very beginning of some of them, but I'm fascinated. I'd actually be really fascinated to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to change anything. I'll just say, I think the pitch went well.
Mm.
We won't really know until Wednesday. If it goes well, that's a very interesting piece of leverage I have in whatever I want to do with Richter next.
Okay. So you want my assessment of how well it went?
I think so, yeah. I'll give you the practices and then I'll give you mine. I'm not going to give you the actual meeting legally. Not that you would do anything about it, but if somebody hacked your computer and, stole it or whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless, I can definitely give you the practices, I think.
Good.
And let me know what you think. I have what you might consider to be an out-of-character designer.
Oh.
Have you seen previews? There's no way you haven't seen previews for this. It's something called bathrooms.
Oh yes.
I really want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
You got me.
Right.
You got me. I want to see it.
Did you ever play the game?
I did not. Oh wait, is it based on the Stanley Parable?
Oh wait, no, I think it's just been compared to the Stanley Parable, but it's based on an internet series, right?
Oh, that I don't know.
Or it's been on like a YouTube.
No idea. But it does remind me of the Stanley Parable for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why they got me. Ferris, have you ever played the Stanley Parable?
I've not, do you think I do though?
Not necessarily, but next time I'm there, I just want you to play one playthrough. The thing about this game is that you could literally choose to leave it open for 10 more years, not having done a single thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if the game had an answer for that.
Really? They're just so,
It's just so well done as far as what are they called, like
planned for like, they've really thought many moves ahead.
Yeah, it's really, it's one of those games where every time you play it, you will get something new. There's no way you won't get something new. Theoretically. Oh man, Stanley Parable game that run by a quantum computer. Maybe that's all Backrooms is.
I'm gonna save the other slides for Better Call Saul.
Perfect. And then two random queries. Of you specifically. One, how come you don't use the microphone to enter things into a search bar?
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Obviously, you know, you do it right in front of me all the time, so I knew that you could do that. That was meant to be a joke. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Like for somebody who values their time, I feel like that's a habit you would picked up somehow. I'm wondering why you didn't.
I think it's I don't want to hear myself forming the query in the same way that I would be like a lot of my queries as a programmer are very long. I introduced the project. I am working on a audio analysis platform running Python 3.12.13 on this particular stack, and today I am facing this particular challenge. And if I mean, perhaps I would save time by talking it out instead of writing it, but I just feel like there's so much deletion that happens that it is just more convenient for me to have the control. And, you know, I'm fast with my fingers in general, and like they're smart. My fingers are smart, so like that just seems like the most natural answer. But I don't know. Perhaps it is worth exploring because I can't say that I have ever submitted a query to an LLM with my voice. So I think all of this should be taken with a grain of salt. Like I've not. You know, don't knock it until you tried it, as they say.
Try to do it for a day, see how it feels.
Yeah. Just realized I poured another glass of whiskey, but forgot to bring it over. So apple juice probably. Sorry. Yeah. It is apple juice.
Not like we're trying to make this for kids anyway. Okay. Query number 2. Have you ever gone back and listened to the raw episode of something we've already cut and sent off?
Yes. Many times.
After listening to the edited versions, you go back and listen to the full raw version.
I haven't kept track of that because if I have gone back and listened to the full version of something that's already been edited, it is because of a random selection, eeny, meeny, miny, mo type situation.
Gotcha.
I don't go back and listen to it in order to compare it to the edited version.
Gotcha. Just curious. So then I have to do the action item.
Action.
We must humbly beg your pardons. Merrick Garland did actually immediately start investigating January 6th in Illinois.
Really?
He did. In February, and apparently he made it a top priority. So I think your bigger fish to fry instinct is probably spot on. It's just super frustrating because they didn't go fast enough to prosecute Trump before he was president-elect, so they probably could have foreseen that that was a possibility. So I don't know what we know, but
No, I withdraw my body language that begs for an apology from Merrick Garland. He absolutely dragged his feet on appointing a special counsel to investigate these obvious.
that he definitely dragged his feet on for sure.
Yeah.
The special counsel.
I mean, like the January 6th committee had assembled and done their whole presentation and gotten the testimony of Cassidy Hutchinson. This all happened on Merrick Garland's watch, and it was like years before he ever did anything about all this evidence that they just laid out on the table for him.
And see, it feels like the fact that they waited, it was almost like they made a deal with Trump or something, and they said, we have to be seen to be investigating it, but it won't be worth a damn until the election's already over, or something. I don't want to say that's happened, but it feels like that's happened.
I mean, I don't want to think of Merrick Garland because, like, I think he was to be Obama's Supreme Court judge nomination if Mitch McConnell had not stepped in and said, no, we can't allow the president to appoint a justice in an election year. That is for the voters to decide who the next justice should be, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, Merrick Garland would be a Supreme Court justice if Obama had had his way on that. So, like, that he would, I don't know, maybe I'm not giving him enough credit in terms of how just like Captain America. No, because he wouldn't be Captain America in this scenario. He would have sold out his ideals for a payout or a threat from Donald Trump or the like. It is just, yeah, I don't know. And it does kind of fit his sort of meager, like, put me in the spotlight. I shouldn't fault him for that. A lawman shouldn't want to be in the spotlight.
I just feel like you only had two things to take care of, and you botched them both up.
Yeah, that's how I see it too.
You're either terrible at your job or in cahoots. Which one is it, Merrick Garland?
I mean, I don't know if Biden appointed him because he would be such an obvious enemy of Trump, given like that he could have been a Supreme Court justice if not for him, or I guess not for Mitch McConnell. I shouldn't read them in the same category. But it seems that any other attorney general that Biden could have appointed would have done the job, would have followed the evidence that was laid out bare for everyone to see, like to not act upon that evidence sooner and to wait for, as you said, like the timeline that he did, which just is very sus. I feel like Jack Smith was really handed a losing hand by Jack Smith with regard to the time he was appointed.
If he'd had more time, he could have built an even stronger case and prosecuted it, or at least had a better chance of trying to prosecute it before the election ran. Yes, Donald Trump has a legal team that will kick things down the road, but you can only kick them down the road so far.
Can you though? I mean, like, there seems no end to the stretch of road that Trump is able to kick these things down the road. I mean, hence the Jesse Pinkman meme. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer.
I mean, Mueller, I thought Mueller would be it. Like, we can all agree he colluded with Russia, absolutely impeached the fuck out of him. And then,
Mueller said that he couldn't find that was the case.
Well, right. He said he could not find that was the case.
No, for the Russian interference one, he said he couldn't find any evidence, or no evidence. it's the obstruction of justice charge that's the non-fine.
Right, like when, in the lead up to the eventual Mueller report, when I thought there would absolutely be like evidence leaping
Oh,
out
this is
of
where
the
there's a
ground of
connection.
his, coordination and collaboration with Russia. I thought that would be the thing that brought him down, and we could all like.
It's up to you.
It's weird.
Present day you come past until
Hello, past
until
Jess.
back.
And future Jess. Hey, future Jess.
Let's see if past Jack Brett has sent me any messages regarding why he's present.
Wow, I'm interacting with past Jess while she is interacting with past Jack Brett. We are on so many different timelines right now.
Still recording.
Yes, it is. What the F is this? Okay, that doesn't do it.
Look up nerdy space shit in the meantime. Alright. Let us look up nerdy space shit.
Look that shit up. Past Jess.
Riverside, your whole shrunken recording zone needs support. Woman,
Get on it.
people.
Let's see it. Observations and capturing images on the moon's surface. They traveled farther from Earth than any humans before them.
Integrity Science, one more request for you. While it's so fresh in your mind, any annotations or sketches you want to make of what you're seeing, either around the corona structure you just mentioned, or even on Earthshine, would be so appreciated.
We look to be still recording.
We are still recording.
Okay, I still see a stop button, I still see a count up
Well done, Riverside.
of the recording, so yeah, I'm going to take Riverside's word that these indications are correct.
Now we sue.
Sue the shit out of those bastards. Sue them into oblivion, they'll be in hell, praise Allah.
We were talking about Merrick Garland's, and we were saying, okay, you did make it a priority and you did start working on it, but you still packed it up because you didn't appoint a special counsel nearly early enough for it to matter at all in the situation we currently find ourselves.
Yeah. Just seems like any person that Biden could have nominated would have appointed Jack Smith much earlier, or a special prosecutor of equal or greater value, to investigate these very obvious allegations.
Yes, or have moved forward with what Robert Mueller gave you originally. One of those two things would have been great. Those are our notes.
Hey, nobody's perfect. Try. At first you don't succeed, and so forth.
And so forth.
What's your next stuff with it?
So there's the RFK Junior Stomp Initiative. Do we know about it?
Never heard of it.
It's actually a thing I'm giving him credit for, question mark.
Huh.
It's STOMP is an acronym for Systematic Targeting of Microplastics. And so right now we discovered microplastics are inside of us. The science on the microplastics and both how they get into us and what damage they may cause is very sparse. And so he would like to fund research related to microplastics, is what I understand. And I'm actually really here for that.
Why do you see microplastics as such a high priority issue?
Well, because I don't want us to get all the way down the road and find out that it's the reason our aggression was higher or our depression was more, or like it might be gunking up our brain works and we as a species might significantly move forward faster if it wasn't. I think it's worth exploring anyways. Once you've determined the level of threat, then, reassess, but I think it's a decent enough thing to look into.
I think you hit it on the head there, like when you have the data reassess, like something tells me that when RFK Jr. has data that disconfirms his theory, whatever it is, it's very difficult to make him reverse course and say that he was wrong. I can't help but think that he's pursuing something based on a similar level of evidence as say the COVID vaccine gives you 5G installation. He's just not known for really following the science in a way that I feel like a Secretary of Health and Human Services should. So color me skeptical. I mean, I want to give this its due attention. It could be a clock right twice a day situation. It could also be that in many cases he only cares about the narrative or the conspiracy theory of it, but in this case he actually does care about the science, and that is to his credit. But I don't know. I need to pursue this matter further on my own to bring in
Fair enough. But of course with everything I insist transparency financially, because I don't want to trust that you're doing it. I would like to see that it's happening.
Yeah, might as well just hear it from the horse's mouth, the digital evidence right there on the paper from the bank statements, rather than these Congress people's assessment, rather than taking the Mark Wayne Mullins of the world's word that I do not do insider trading. Maybe we just not that we don't trust you, but we're kind of incentivized to
I don't trust the government at all.
yeah.
After a general, regardless of who's in charge.
Well,
And I think it's healthy. I think we all should just trust our government.
yeah, we should make sure that the right people are populating it. That's for sure. Hence why these convos remain consistent.
Indeed. There is some other stuff about like hospice fraud in California or something. I don't know enough about it to comment on it. Do you know anything about it?
I've not heard of the hospice fraud in California.
Then I'll reach out internationally because I'm fascinated by it and I'd love to know more.
Just for the recognized world.
Just gonna go to the back and be like, you know, all the times I said actually.
Oh, well, this is why the multi-tiered employers hierarchy article that you pointed me to is gonna be so useful because like eventually our reg vector database is gonna be flooded with action items such that typing in an action item, the phrase action item will be useless, from a semantic search perspective, so like that has to be,
Yeah, that journal IO club thing that keeps popping up in my feed, taught me something else about something to do with, the different models are treated sort of like the different regions of the brain. So if you think of like LLMs as a thing, and then there's some other thing as a thing, it's all these pieces coming together as a part of a brain almost, and that was fucking fascinating. And I was wondering if you knew anything about that.
do not, but that sounds like the sort of algorithm that could, add up to AGI. Like, as I see it, LLMs as they exist, they're just predictive. At the end of the day, sophisticated as they may seem, they are only trying to predict the next word in the series of words based on the context it's given and the entirety of what's on the internet. But I think that like to reproduce general human intelligence, that the sort of like innovative, or the creativity, like to like replicate genuine human creativity, that takes a completely different sort of algorithm. And it sounds like, what you described in this article, like they found a way to put different models together to replicate human brain, how it does it, this sort of activity.
Or rather that they only put all of the models together just as they were explaining that there are different models kind of like, that are useful for different things, kind of like
I
the
see.
areas of different.
Yeah, okay.
But
And
that
there's
would, if someone could figure out how to put them all together into one version, that would be interesting.
Well, look at that. I did peruse a few articles, but like there was a paywall, like there was only a finite number of free ones, and I'm not sold on this enough to pay for it yet.
Yep, it keeps doing it in my face. I'll continue to tell you if anything is interesting enough to share in this sometime. That way we will know whether or not it's worth going past the paywall.
Or,
And look into hospice stuff, okay. So then, we're starting a new segment called the High Point.
oh yes.
And, this is gonna be a segment where we wanna end the evening on a high note, or I guess it's called the high note.
Yeah, like NBC does when it gives, the story of a chimpanzee saving a kitten after, telling you about the
Yeah,
mass casualty event that happened.
yeah, but except for we're just explicitly telling you, we understand this is that for our podcast.
Yeah.
And the high note I'd like to end on is the story of the stolen Kit Kats.
I've only heard like glimpses of this, but please.
Okay, so somewhere between Italy and some other place, Poland maybe, I'm not sure.
trucks do you need to carry? That's a lot of freaking kids. 12 tons. So an aircraft carrier weighs about 95,000 tons.
How many Kit Kats were stolen? Several city buses worth of weight.
Wow.
A small house if you stacked them as solid blocks.
Wow.
Just a giant shipping container size. Just pack the whole thing with Kit Kat, and that's how many were stolen.
Oh, so like it was all in one shipping container.
No. That's the equivalent of one giant shipping container full is how much got stolen. I don't know
And
if
I
it was
guess-
from a shipping container or trucks or whatever. I just know that it was stolen.
I'd be very interested in that data point because like when it's curious that it said one shipping container worth because it seems like that would be the most convenient way to steal 12 tons of Kit Kats, and also like maybe the shipping container was supposed to contain something else. And it's a joke on these would-be heist heisters that it was actually filled with, the same way that in Ocean's 11 they did the porn flyers in the place of the money.
How did they actually steal the 12 tons of Kit Kat?
I have missed most of this last conversation. We'll wind back to RFK.
And so color me skeptical. I mean, I want to give this its due attention. It could be a clock right twice a day situation. It could also be that in many cases he only cares about the narrative or the conspiracy theory of it, but in this case he actually does care about the science, and that is to his credit. But I don't know. I would need to pursue this matter further on my own to weigh in
Fair enough.
confidently.
Fair enough. But of course, with everything, I insist transparency financially, because I don't want to trust that you're doing it. I would like to see that it's happening.
Yeah, might as well just like hear it from the horse's mouth, like digital evidence right there on the paper from the bank statements, rather than these Congress people's assessment, rather than like taking the Mark Wayne Mullins of the world's word that I do not do insider trading. Maybe we just like, not that we don't trust you, but you're kind of incentivized
2 diamond circlets?
to
I'll take
I don't trust the government at all.
yeah.
Or in general, regardless of who's in charge.
Well,
I think it's healthy. We all should distrust our government.
yeah, we should make sure that the right people are populating it. That's for sure.
That wording doesn't work for me.
Hence why these convos remain consistently interesting.
There is some other stuff about like hospice fraud in California or something, but I don't know enough about it to comment on it. Do you know anything about it?
I've not heard of the hospice fraud in California.
Then I'll take that as an action item for next week, because I'm fascinated by it and I'd love to know more.
Action item.
Yeah. I need like a whole month off.
Just for the action items alone.
Alright. We're just gonna go to the rack and be like, please bring up all the times I said action item.
Oh boy, this is why This is why the multi-tiered embeddings hierarchy article that you pointed me to is going to be so useful, because like eventually our RAG vector database is going to be flooded with action items, such that typing in an action item, the phrase action item will be useless, from a semantic search perspective. So like there has to be,
Yeah, that journal IO club thing that keeps popping up in my feed taught me something else about something to do with the different models are being treated sort of like the different regions of the brain. So if you think of like LLMs as a thing, and then there's some other thing as a thing, and then like it's all these pieces coming together as a part of a brain almost. And that was fucking fascinating. And I was wondering if you knew anything about that.
do not, but that sounds like the sort of algorithm that could add up to AGI. Like,
Right?
as I see it, LLMs as they exist, they're just predictive. At the end of the day, sophisticated as they may seem, they are only trying to predict the next word in the series of words based on the context it's given and the entirety of what's on the internet. But I think that like to reproduce general human intelligence, the sort of like innovative or like creativity, like to like replicate genuine human creativity, that takes a completely different sort of algorithm. But it sounds like what you described in this article, like they found a way to fit different models together to replicate a human brain. I wonder how it does those sort of activities.
Or rather that I don't think they put all of the models together, just that they were explaining that there are different models kind of like that are useful for different things, kind of like
I see.
the areas of the brain.
Yeah, okay.
But
Like there's
that would be, if someone could figure out how to put them all together into one brain, that would certainly be interesting.
I'll have to look at that. I did peruse a few articles, but like there was a paywall, like there was only a finite number of free ones, and I'm not sold on this enough to pay for it yet.
Yeah, they keep shoving it in my face. I'll continue to tell you if anything is interesting enough to share, just like that. That way we will know whether or not it is worth going past the paywall.
Or
And we'll look into hospice stuff. Okay. So then we're starting a new segment called a high point.
oh yes.
And this is going to be a segment where we want to end the evening on a high note. Or I guess it's called the high note.
Yeah, like NBC does when it gives the story of a chimpanzee saving a kitten after telling you about the
Yeah.
mass casualty event that happened.
Yeah, but except for we're just explicitly telling you we understand this is that, but for our podcast.
Yeah.
And the high note I'd like to end on is the story of the stolen Kit Kats.
I've only heard like glimpses of this, but please.
Okay, so somewhere between
Mama.
Italy and some other place, Poland maybe, I'm not sure. Somewhere on its way to Italy, 12 tons of Kit Kat bars were stolen.
So many questions.
Help me understand visually better how much Kit Kat is 12 tons of Kit Kat.
How many trucks do you need to carry? That's a lot of freaking Kit Kats. I can't eat like 12 tons. So an aircraft carrier weighs about 95,000 tons.
Killed out of how many Kit Kats were stolen. buses worth of weight.
Oh, wow.
A small house if you stacked them as solid blocks.
Wow.
Just a giant shipping container size. Just pack the whole thing with Kit Kat, and that's how many were stolen.
Oh, so like it was all in one shipping container.
No. That's the equivalent of one giant shipping container full is how much got stolen. I don't know
And I
if it was
guess-
from a shipping container or trucks or whatever. I just know that it was stolen.
I'd be very interested in that data point because like when it's curious that it said one shipping container's worth because it seems like that would be the most convenient way to steal 12 tons of Kit Kats, and also like maybe the shipping container was supposed to contain something else. And it's a joke on these would-be heist
It's a plot hole.
heisters that it was actually filled with, the same way that in Ocean's 11 they did the porn flyers in the place of the money.
How did they actually steal the 12 tons of Kit Kat?
There's never anything behind.
Okay, it was a truck.
The single truck.
Single truck carrying about 12 tons of Kit Kat bars disappeared while traveling from Nestle's production site in central Italy to Poland. I had that backwards. The vehicle and cargo are still unaccounted for. What about the dude driving the truck? So yeah, well, I guess a shipping container doesn't just fit on the back of the big rig. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the truck was a bit bigger. Okay.
Yeah. So somebody intercepted it.
I mean,
Cargo
Like,
line. Okay,
what-
so
yeah, I just wonder if this was intentional, if somebody intended to steal Kit Kat bars in this amount, how do they expect to move them?
what were you planning on doing with those, buddy? It's funny that you asked that question, Jack Brett, because several companies have reached out on their social medias to respond to Kit Kat's saying this is what happened. In an official statement from Domino's UK said, "We would like to share our thoughts and condolences with Kit Kat following the recent sad news. On a completely unrelated note, we're pleased to announce we will now be selling a new Kit Kat pizza."
Is that making?
Huh?
Is Domino's making fun of them for like doing this to themselves as a publicity stunt?
No, I think they're just making light of the situation in general.
I see.
It's a fun way to get your brand out there, I guess. DoorDash's official statement says, "Hey guys, DoorDash here. Due to a completely random packaging error, we have 12 tons of Kit Kats in our Dash Marts that we can't sell. The good news is all you have to do is go to your DoorDash app and add like 500 to 600 Kit Kats to your cart and this should resolve itself quickly. Thank you." Del Taco had an official statement, and it just says, "Del Taco had absolutely nothing to do with this, thank you." But there's like chocolate impressions of fingers.
Yeah.
Denny's official statement, "We would like to make one thing clear. Whatever happened to those Kit Kats happened between 1:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. and we were very busy." No further questions. And all of this led to Kit Kat having to respond to all of them and say, "Thank you for your interest in the missing Kit Kats. Just to clarify, this is not a stunt or an April Fool's joke. Someone really stole 12 tons of Kit Kats, and we really want to know where they've gone." What's interesting is they've created a stolen Kit Kat tracker that lets you check if your Kit Kat is from the missing batch, which I think
Wow.
is fascinating.
the bills.
Right, exactly, right? Like
Mhm.
barcodes.
Someone tries to use one of these marked bills, they get busted.
But then my brain goes, they stole the Kit Kats themselves. This is brilliant marketing. Everyone's
It really
gonna want to
just-
go get a Kit Kat to see if there's.
I've thought about Kit Kats more today than any other point this year or in the last 10 years. I mean, to me, the Occam's razor answer is simple.
So, Kit Kats.
All I have to say, Scott Galloway's corny dad joke on today's episode was candy bar related for that reason. He said, I identify as a candy bar. My pronouns are her and she.
Okay, I do love a good fun.
So yeah, that'll be my high point. I'll come up with a legitimate one next week, but I know.
Yeah, I can't get that high. I know.
You did just get that high just now.
Yeah, but not in a good pitch.
Well, sing a pitch that's comfortable for you, the highest pitch that's comfortable for you. That's way higher than what I just said.
I know, but I was trying to go as low as I could. I don't know. I didn't know if I could. I had to do it in order to know I could.
No, you're right. I know exactly that feeling, so I can't judge you. But no, I think we've accomplished the high net section. And we are, oh God, we are just like crossing over the 4-hour mark, so I think I have to download this as 2 separate segments. That's
Sorry.
it. You know what, worse
Actually,
things have happened.
You don't even really need to download it. This is all it's gonna be. We can move right on. Just download the first one. It's gonna be like a minute. You're gonna lose 2 minutes of it.
Oh,
And I guess more the 2 minutes.
yeah, I leave no stone unturned when it comes to JJQT archives, like,
That's okay.
yeah.
That's gonna be helpful somewhere down the road. I'm certain of it.
I mean, I only regret that, like, yesterday's, like, I missed, we do not have on record me, like, celebrating that I'm an influencer because Joe adopted my,